for the Sunday morning session on Science of Self-Realization. So before we begin our session, let's offer our prayers to Srila Prabhupada and Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandrodaya ki jai Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai Vrindavan Dham ki jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai Nitai Gauranga. Welcome everyone for the Sunday morning session of Science of Self-Realization. Today we are going to continue with our discussions of what we started in the last week. This is regarding appearance of Lord Chaitanya. So in the last session, we just had introduction about who is Lord Chaitanya and such some other discussions. We'll try to summarize them or rather have a short recap. So these sessions, what we are having on Science of Self-Realization is an inspiration from His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of the worldwide Hare Krishna movement, Iskcon. Only by his mercy, we are able to have these discussions, because Prabhupada has so nicely presented us the teachings of the Vedic wisdom, such a simplistic way that all of us can understand and appreciate and follow them in our day-to-day lives. So we owe a great sense of gratitude to Prabhupada for his wonderful contribution. So in the first part, we discussed who is Lord Chaitanya, the golden avatar. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually Lord Krishna himself, who appeared 500 years ago in a place known as Nadia, Mayapur in West Bengal. This place is around 130 kilometers away from Kolkata. So 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to propagate the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Golden Avatar. Why? Because the scriptures say, Bhagavatam gives us understanding that whenever Lord Krishna appears, he appears in 4 colors. Red, white, yellow, and black. Lord Krishna appeared as incarnation, blackish color. And previously in other yugas, Satya Yuga and Treta Yuga, Lord Krishna had already appeared in white and red colors. The one color what was remaining was yellow. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in that color, yellow color or golden color. That's why he is known as Golden Avatar. To again repeat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna himself, who appeared 500 years ago to deliver all of us by introducing us a very simple method known as Sankirtana movement. Okay. So whenever Lord comes, he comes with different purposes, different goals. The main 2 important goals which Lord appears, as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, is that Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkrita dharma samsthapanarthaya dharma sambhavami yuge. He appears to deliver the devotees and kill the demons. So who are devotees? Devotees are worshipping Lord Krishna with a lot of love and affection, and they know Krishna's supremacy, they know how his world is going on, so they are completely subordinate to Lord Krishna. The demons are completely against this understanding. They don't regard the scriptures. They don't have any respect for them. They have their own whimsical way of working. They are called demons. So when Krishna appears, he has these two important functions of protecting the devotees from the torture of demons and killing the demons. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's purpose also was similar. Krishna and other incarnations had a lot of weapons to kill the demons. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, his weapon was something special. He didn't have club, disc, or any such very great weapons. His weapon was Sankirtana. And practically speaking, in Kali Yuga, all people are following demoniac principles, which means basically all of them are having demoniac mentality. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if he comes, or if Krishna comes, you should have killed everybody in this Kali Yuga. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very merciful incarnation. He is killing our demoniac mentality. That is the reason he has appeared. So this is the special significance of this avatar called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come to kill our demoniac mentality. And what is the simplest way to worship Lord Chaitanya? If this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come for, what to do, how to worship? Is there any elaborate way or very difficult way? No. It's very simple. Srila Prabhupada says that you just keep the picture of Lord Chaitanya with his associates called Pancha Tattva, and every day you can chant Hare Krishna in the form of japa, fixed number of times, or do Sankirtana for some time. That is called worship of Lord Chaitanya. And it's not that you have to keep, you have to come to temple or you have to go to a place where there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, form. Anywhere, any place, Prabhupada says, even under a tree or any corner of your house, you can keep the photo of Lord Chaitanya and his associates called Panchatattva and worship them. That's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts your worship, what happens? Your demoniac mentality, your mentality of trying to enjoy this material world and entangle ourselves, lust, anger, greed, all these various qualities will diminish, and you will develop what is known as affection, attraction to Lord Krishna, and you prepare yourself to going back to spiritual world. That is the special significance of worshipping Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we also discussed the meaning of the word avatar and the purpose of avatar. Right? Meaning of the word avatar is that one who descends. Example was given, just like you're staying at the 10th floor of a building. When you come down, either by lift or by the stairs to the ground floor, you're descending down. So avatar basically means Lord Krishna descending from the spiritual world to the material world. Just see, Lord is so merciful that he keeps coming like this. And Krishna says, Sambhavami yuge yuge. In every yuga, and whenever there is need, Lord comes personally or sends his representatives. This is the understanding Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita. So avatara basically means one who descends from spiritual world to the material realm for us to relate, for us to have relationship, for us to understand that we are simply suffering in the material world and we have to go back to spiritual world. That is the purpose of, that is the reason why avatar comes, and avatar means one who descends. Okay, when you say descend and talk about spiritual world, where is the spiritual world? Right? When you see the sky in the night, so many stars and so many planets, vast sky. So where is the spiritual world? Somebody may be wondering. Krishna gives a hint about spiritual world in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, this spiritual world is beyond this material sky. And that spiritual world is always existing, ever existing, whereas this material world is going through repeated cycles of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Whereas spiritual world is ever existing. Krishna gives the understanding. So, spiritual world, I don't know where it is, how to go there. and Krishna is coming from there as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how do you understand? Prabhupada gives an analogy, just like in a geography class, a child is given understanding about the whole world through a world map about different countries. This is India, this is England, this is America. The child would have not personally traveled to all those places to understand, oh, this is what this place is. But he's hearing from a teacher, proper system. Likewise, there are Vedic scriptures, there is Vedic authorities, acharyas, gurus, who have given us this knowledge that spiritual world is existing in this way, and Lord keeps coming down as an avatar to deliver us. That is the purpose of an avatar, right? So whereas with our limited understanding, we don't even know the extent of this material world, which is very vast, which is beyond our imagination. In fact, the modern astrologers or modern astronauts say, even to reach the most farthest planet of this whole universe, it will take 40,000 years. Who's going to live that long? A span of 60, 70 years, the maximum we can have. And our life is so limited. Understanding about spiritual world is not easy. So how do we understand spiritual realm or spiritual existence and Lord's existence? Only through Vedic authority. So let's continue our discussion from this point. So it is very important that we accept the Vedic authority for knowledge beyond the material world. Many things is beyond our perception, beyond our conception. They are called achintya. Achintya means beyond your chintana shakti. Chintana means thinking, beyond your perception, right? So Vedic authority gives us the understanding, some things which is beyond your understanding. So in the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asked Krishna, will you kindly explain the extent to which your energies are working? Right? Arjuna's question with regard to various aspects of the material world, because Arjuna understood how Krishna is all-pervading, Krishna is every active principle in everything. This is what Krishna explained up to 9th chapter. So this question of Arjuna is specifically in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, wherein Arjuna wanted to understand practically in the material world how Krishna is working. So Krishna gave many, many examples, many, many instances he gave. So the one of the around 82 examples he gives in Bhagavad Gita. Among the big mountains, I am Himalayas. Among the big rivers, I am Ganga River. Among the demons, I am Prahlad. Right? Among the letters, I am A. Like this, Krishna goes on, just to make us understand anything glorious, anything wonderful, anything supernatural in the material world, what you see is Krishna's manifestation. Anything wonderful is Krishna's manifestation. So having understood this much, Krishna further explains to Arjuna very nicely at the towards the end conclusion he makes. My dear Arjuna, what shall I explain about my energies? It is actually possible for you to understand. It is not actually possible for you to understand. But you can just imagine the expansion of my energies. This material world, which consists of millions of universes, is a display of only 1/4 of my creation. It's a nice statement in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Ekam Shena Sthito Jagat. If you see the whole creation as a big unit, in that the material world is only 1/4 of the total creation, which means the spiritual world is 3/4. That's what we are discussing. Lord Krishna comes from the bigger existence of the whole creation called spiritual world, 3/4 of the creation, 75%. And even this material world, which we say, oh, we know everything, we don't know anything. Our Earth planet is only a small, insignificant speck of dust in the whole existence. There are like this innumerable planets in one universe, and like this there are innumerable universes. Ananta Koti Brahmanda. One universe is called Brahmanda. There are unlimited universes in this material world. Right? So this is the way Lord Krishna existence is. Even one planet, Earth also, we don't know everything very clearly. We have not explored or discovered everything. And like this, there are innumerable planets with innumerable type of varieties of entities and varieties of existences there. And like this, there are so many universes which are all existing in the Lord's creation. So Krishna is telling, what I've told you is only a small, like a tip of an iceberg. Right? My existence is huge, Krishna says. This is what Krishna's whole creation is. And after saying this much, actually, Krishna is giving a hint that we cannot even estimate the position of even one universe. Krishna says there are millions of universes. And this 1/4 creation itself, we can't estimate. Okay. This is what the material world is. And beyond this material world is spiritual sky, where there are millions of spiritual planets. Again, to remind you, spiritual world is Vaikuntha Jagat. It is 75% of the creation of Krishna, which means huge. It's like when you say the prison house or the prison jail in any city is a small portion of the whole city. Whereas the city itself is a huge place with a lot of citizens and many facilities around it. Likewise, this material world is like a prison, insignificant place for us who have rebelled against Krishna. And spiritual world is our actual place where we are supposed to go back. So Krishna is giving all this wonderful understanding in the Bhagavad Gita. So all this information is available from the Vedic literature. So that's why we have to accept the Vedic authority. If one accepts Vedic literature, then he can accept, and then he can get this knowledge. Right? The source of all this understanding is we have to consult the Vedic literatures. If one doesn't accept it, then there is no other means. That is our choice, right? Basically, you want to know something beyond your understanding, you have to accept an authority. You cannot speculate. You cannot imagine. You cannot simply go on theorizing on your own. That is actually the Jnanic method. Go on speculating, maybe, hypothesizing. That is not the way of acquiring knowledge. The real way of acquiring knowledge is to take knowledge from the authority, because you are ignorant. You are completely unaware of many aspects of life. Right? Just like the example of geography class, student will accept what teacher is telling to move forward in his education. Similarly, we have to accept Vedic authority, and if we don't accept, then we'll always be in ignorance and we'll continue our material life again and again. Therefore, according to Vedic civilization, whenever an Acharya speaks, he immediately gives references from the Vedic literature. So our whole context of discussing this various aspect is spiritual world, Avatara comes down. And who gives the understanding of spiritual world? The Vedic knowledge, Vedic authorities, like the Acharyas. They give references from Vedic literatures, quoting that this is what spiritual world is, this is what this world around is, who we are, all these things that make us understand. Right? And these Acharyas have understood this knowledge so thoroughly that they're able to give this knowledge to us and make us enlightened. Then others will accept it. Yes, it is correct. Because this is something Prabhupada says Vedic knowledge is the research knowledge already. We did not do any research on this. It is the actual fact in this world. So Prabhupada gives a wonderful example. In a law court, the lawyer gives references from past judgments of the court. And if his case is tight, the judge accepts. Right? The law court, many references and many laws are quoted to prove that the case what the lawyer is fighting is very valid. And if the court accepts it, then it is fine. The case is in favor of that particular lawyer. Similarly, if one gives evidence from the Vedas, then it is understood that his position is factual. It's a very important point Prabhupada is making. Whatever we speak, whatever we present as knowledge should not be concocted knowledge. Concoction means you have imagined. You have speculated about something. That is not called knowledge. Knowledge means what is actually factual knowledge, what is heard from authorities. This is called descending process. The modern way of acquiring knowledge is what? What you see, what you discover, what you experiment. Oh, fine, this is what is knowledge as of now. And after some time, that same understanding goes through some other, they have discovered something new. Then they improve on that. Go on improving. This is called ascending process, wherein you will never find what is the actual truth. You'll always be thinking, oh, something more is there, something more is there. And you are getting bewildered. You're getting confused. What is the actual truth? The Vedic way of understanding knowledge is called descending process, avaroha pantha. The modern way of understanding, the scientific way of understanding the knowledge is aroha pantha. So the recommendation given with regard to human society is that we have to accept from the authorities. Otherwise, our limited span of life, with a lot of imperfection in our life, what all we'll do, how much we understand, always our knowledge will be imperfect only. That is the point. So the Vedic evidence, what we get, whatever we understand from Vedic knowledge through the authorities is factual knowledge. So we have evidence that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an avatar, golden avatar in the various Vedic literatures. So just now we understood, Vedic authority is considered to be the topmost authority with regard to giving us the factual knowledge about this world around us, about ourselves. Any other knowledge is only speculation. Right? That's why Vedas always have many references, many type of very wonderful explanations given for our analysis, for our understanding. We have to study them, we have to understand them. The beginning study is reading of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gives us a very preliminary understanding of what is what are you, what is this world around you, why are you here? All these things Krishna explains. So we have very wonderful evidence, Vedic evidence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. The avatar for this age, Lord Chaitanya, is described in Vedic literature. We cannot accept anyone as an avatar unless he has the symptoms described in the scriptures. A very important point. Because regarding avatara is coming down from spiritual world. That is the meaning of avatara, one who descends from spiritual world. And how the avatara descends, or rather, when the avatara descends, why he descends, all that is mentioned in the scriptures. We'll see now as we move forward in our presentation that this is not something imagined, or somebody will claim himself, I am an avatar. No. When somebody says I am an avatar, first question to ask is, where is the reference of your avatar in the scriptures? In the Vedic scriptures, in the Vedas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is already confirmed in Vedic scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Upanishads, and Puranas. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is accepted as the golden avatar. Just see, that's an important point. So the symptoms of an avatar is always also described. How the avatar will come and what his activities will be, what are his various symptoms are all described in the scriptures. So we do not whimsically accept Lord Chaitanya as an avatar on the basis of votes. Nowadays, some few people or few lakhs of people are worshipping one person. Oh, he is avatar. That is not the way of, making somebody as avatar. Avatar is not created. Avatar is not manufactured. Avatar is not concocted. Avatar is actually descending from spiritual world. This is the important aspect you have to understand. Nowadays, it has become a fashion that any man can come and say that he is God or incarnation of God. That is what is going on in the present day context. And Prabhupada was very strongly challenging this particular aspect in the society, that people claiming to be themselves God are simply cheating the public. And some fools and rascals will accept it. Oh, he is God. When you don't know the scriptural background or the way we have to question about an avatar, so that is, we accept any common man as an avatar, that is because of our foolishness. Whereas we, followers of Bhagavad Gita and Sanatana culture, we do not accept an avatar like that. A wrong way or a misguided way it is. We take evidence from the Vedas, An avatar must conform to the descriptions in the Vedas. Very important, right? Already avatar, when he's going to come, what will be his activities, what will be his symptoms, everything is described. Just like about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we understood in the previous session, part 1. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to come in this golden form, yellow form. He's going to be describing about Krishna, Krishna Varanam. And his complexion will not be Krishna, not blackish, it will be yellow. And he's accompanied with associates. And this way, intelligent people worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this way. This is what scriptures mention. Just see. So whatever scriptures have already predicted some millions of years ago, same thing, avatar, when the avatar comes, he will be exhibiting or manifesting all these symptoms. Then only we accept that avatar. Otherwise, no, we don't accept. It's an important way of discriminating or having this sense of intelligence with regard to who is an avatar and who is not an avatar. For each avatar, there is a description in the Vedas. He will appear at such and such a place, in such a form, and he will act like this. Just see. Everything is very clear, specific. Scriptures describe all of them. For example, we'll see the Vedic evidence of Lord Buddha and Lord Kalki's appearance. Buddha already has appeared, and Kalki is going to appear. What does scripture say about them? In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a list of the avatars. There is mention of Lord Buddha's name. Right? The Srimad Bhagavatam was written 5,000 years ago, and it mentions different names for future times. So Bhagavatam's history is that it was compiled by Vedavyasa 5,000 years ago, which means the beginning of Kali Yuga. And it is describing the future incarnations. Who is going to come? Lord Krishna is going to come this way, this way, this way. Right? So about Lord Buddha, it is mentioned, Lord Buddha is one incarnation of Lord Vishnu. It is mentioned that in the future, Lord would appear as Lord Buddha. His mother's name would be Anjana, and he would appear in Gaya. Just see, this much detailed information is there. When Lord Buddha is going to appear, who will be his mother, where he'll appear, everything is described. So Buddha appeared some 2,600 years. That is around 2,600 years. Srimad Bhagavatam was written 5,000 years ago. And it means Bhagavatam has given prediction that in the future, Lord Buddha's incarnation will come. Similarly, there is mention of Lord Chaitanya, who appeared just 500 years ago. So like this, the future incarnations are mentioned. And similarly, it is mentioned that towards the end of Kali Yuga, this Kali Yuga's total span of time is 4,32,000 years. Out of 4,32,000 years, we have already passed 5,000 years. And this balance of 4,27,000 years. So when Kalki is going to appear towards the end of Kali Yuga, which means almost another 4,20,000 or 25,000 years have to pass. Somebody is claiming, I am Kalki avatar now, which means is a wrong claim. That's what we have to understand. So all the descriptions of various avatars is very clearly and vividly described in the Bhagavatam. So about Kalki, it is mentioned that Kalki is the last incarnation in the age of Kali, final incarnation. And when he comes, he'll appear as the son of a Brahmana whose name will be known as Vishnu Yasha. Prabhupada says Yasha, Joshi. Joshi is the upper Brahmsha, or the distorted way of calling Yasha. Right? The Joshi means the Brahmins. Vishnu Yasha. His father name is Vishnu Yasha. He's going to appear in a place called Sambhala, somewhere in Bihar province. There's a place in India with that name even now, Sambhal. So perhaps it is there that the Lord will appear. Just see. So much precise Bhagavatam is. What incarnations, when they will come, what they will do, everything is given. And Kalki, at the end of Kali Yuga, what he will do? Lord, because people are become so demoniac, he's just going to kill everybody with his sword. That's all. That's what Kalki is going to do. So we have to be aware or conscious of this fact that as Kali Yuga progresses, the intensity of adharma or irreligion goes on increasing, there will be more suffering. And when adharma goes to such an extent, uncontrollable, Lord comes as Kalki, he takes his sword and just cuts off everybody's heads. Finished. After that, new age begins. Again, Satya Yuga starts. This is how this whole cycle of 4 yugas is going on. So an avatar must conform to the descriptions in the Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, and other Vedic literature. Which means anybody who is claiming as avatar, you should have Vedic reference from Upanishad, Bhagavata, Mahabharata, like this. Otherwise, simply somebody comes out of the blue or claims himself to be avatar, he cannot be called as an avatar. Where is the reference? You should ask. Right? So, on the authority of Vedic literature and the commentary of great stalwart Goswamis like Jiva Goswami, who was the greatest scholar and philosopher in the world, we can accept Lord Chaitanya as an incarnation of Krishna. So, we have enough evidences from Vedic literatures. We have enough references from various great authorities like the Goswamis, especially Jiva Goswami. They have given so many wonderful references from various Vedic literatures pointing out to the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? It's like with regard to when recently I was just hearing reference Prabhupada is giving about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's like Lord Ramachandra, he was banished to forest by his father on the order of his wife, right? Kaikeyi. And he went to the forest and he was, he took up that whole austerity for next 14 years. And he actually demonstrated the principle of what is known as renunciation or vairagya. Vairagya is one of the qualities or the opulence of Krishna. Just like Krishna is all powerful, all wealthy, all knowledgeable. Either Krishna also has the opulence called vairagya, renunciation. Just like Krishna exhibited this opulence in his avatar as Ramachandra, he renounced within just like one day before he was next day he's going to get coronated. Going to be coronated as king, enthroned as a king. And one day previously, night, his father is telling, this is what your mother's desire is. Immediately, Ramchandra, he renounced. This is called Vairagya. Who will do like this? The whole history. Tomorrow, you're going to become the king, and today you're being told, please renounce this. Likewise, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, reference is there in Ramayana, that he also renounced his family life at the age of 24 years. He gave up his elderly mother, young wife, and took up sannyasa just to preach the message of Lord Krishna, of chanting of Hare Krishna everywhere. Just see, he renounced everything. Just like Ramachandra went to Aranya, forest, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the forest of this material world to preach the message of Lord Krishna. Like this, the references are enough with regard to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. That is why we accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as incarnation of Krishna, because there are enough evidences. Okay. So why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear? One reason we understood in the previous session is that to kill our demoniac mentality. But there is some more better and deeper understanding what is this demonic mentality and how to address this. So our next point, what we're going to discuss about why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, is into 4 subdivisions. We'll take up one after other. So first of all, we have to analyze why we have got this material body. All of us have a body, right? As male, female, born in a specific place, in specific situation. Why we have this material body, first of all? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, towards the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam braja. Give up all other engagements and simply engage in my service. I will give you protection from all results of sinful actions. Right? Clearly, Krishna says, your material body is because you have performed so many sins, And the way to absolve or neutralize these sins is surrender to me. You have all engagements, simply engage in my service, Krishna says. I will protect you from all results of sinful activities. Now, in this material world, what is going on now? In conditioned life, we are simply creating sinful reactions, that's all. We don't know how to perform actions, what to do. We're simply trying to engage or indulge our senses in gratifying our senses. And life is going on, right? So this is simply creating a big chain of sinful reactions for us. And because of sinful reactions, we have received this body. Very important understanding. Why we have got this body? Because of our past sinful reactions to suffer and enjoy the various actions we have done in our previous lives. Right? Very important perspective of life. Material body is the body. What I have got is a resultant reaction of so many past actions in my previous lives. Which means I am responsible for this body. Not that I have simply got from nowhere this body. I only have created this body. Because of my actions, I have desired like this. So Lord has provided this body for you, for all of us. Whatever body we are in. So we have to see from this perspective. Anybody in any material body, human body or animal body or a tree body, all of them have got different bodies because they have done actions in a way that they have been given that particular body. It's like a punishment. If our sinful reactions stopped, we would not have to take a material body, we would get a spiritual body. Just see. That's what Krishna is telling. If you can stop sinful reactions, how to stop it? Engage in Krishna's service. Then you will be delivered, or you'll attain moksha. Moksha means coming out of the cycle of birth and death and attaining your spiritual body or reviving your spiritual body. You have a spiritual body, but it is covered right now with a material body, material covering. So if you stop sinful reactions, then we will not have any more material body. We'll have a spiritual body. Okay, then what is the spiritual body? We understood just now, material body is because of our sinful actions which we have done, and that is coming as a reaction, and we are getting different bodies. And if you stop sinful reactions, we get a spiritual body. So what is spiritual body? A spiritual body is that body which is free from birth, death, disease, and old age. In our experience of this body, we are experiencing that we are repeatedly taking birth, growing old, becoming diseased, and one day dying. This we have experienced. We are seeing everywhere around us. Our parents, our grandfathers, our relatives, and different age levels. Somebody passed away a few months back. Somebody is going to pass away after some time. Similarly, our life also, what we are going through now, our body also will go through same cycles of birth, disease, old age, and death. Spiritual body is beyond birth, death, old age, disease. It's the wonderful revelation which Prabhupada is giving us. Material body means you have to die, as sure as death. Spiritual body, no death, no birth, no old age, no disease. Really, it's very exciting. So we have a spiritual body, right? That's what all of us are hankering for. When you become diseased, why do you run to a doctor? So that your disease is cured, and again you will be rejuvenated to enjoy life. And given opportunity, nobody would like to grow old. And given opportunity, nobody would like to die. Why? Because as spirit souls, we don't want to experience old age, disease, death. The spiritual body, as spirit souls, we have a spiritual body. Right now it is covered. The spiritual body has to be revived or be awakened. That is the whole purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation. Okay, spiritual body is that body which is free from birth, death, old age, disease. It is an eternal body full of knowledge and bliss. It's called Satchidananda body. We have a spiritual body. Actually, all of us have spiritual bodies. Right now it is compressed and contracted and sleeping. So this Satchidananda body is covered by completely opposite body known as Asat, Achit, Nirananda body. Sat means eternal. Whereas we have got a body which is not eternal. Asat. Chit means full of knowledge, proper understanding that I am spirit soul, I am part and parcel of Krishna, I am supposed to serve Krishna. This is proper understanding. But we have so much ignorance now. We think I am this body, this material world is for my enjoyment. That's all. Life is this. Eat, drink, be merry. Go on enjoying your life. This is what right now we are thinking. Or we have been taught like this in various ways. In our schools, colleges, media is all teaching you, your body, enjoy. Asat, Achit, Nirananda. We are supposed to have real happiness as being spirit souls, whereas we are experiencing always distress. You may experience a sort of a pleasure when you intoxicate yourself or some type of a sense enjoyment, but that very enjoyment will be the source of your misery. Even to get little enjoyment, you have to work so hard. That is the nature of this material enjoyment. It's always filled with miseries, full of distress. So it's called Asat, Achit, Nirananda. Whereas our existence is actually Satchidananda. That has to be revived. That has to be awakened. So Prabhupada further says, different bodies are created by different desires. Because we have been desiring differently to enjoy our senses. So Krishna is giving us different types of bodies. As long as we have desires for different kinds of enjoyment, we have to accept different kinds of material bodies. This is the law working in Krishna's material nature. So Krishna, God is so kind that he awards whatever we want. We want a tiger's body, tiger's body. I want to fly like a bird. Okay, take the body of a bird. I want to stand naked for 100 years. Okay, take the body of a tree. I want to eat stool. The most abominable thing. Okay, take the body of a pig. Like this, Krishna is awarding whatever you want, whatever we desire. We want a tiger's body with tiger-like strength and teeth with which to capture animals and suck fresh blood. Krishna will give us the opportunity. And if you want the body of a saintly person and devotee engaged only in service of the Lord, then he will give us that body. That's what Krishna wants. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, give up all other engagements. Just engage in my service. You will become free from all other reactions, what you are going through. You become free from this material life. You will get a spiritual body, Krishna is telling. So if we desire to become a saintly person, which is actually our real nature. As an Atma, we are devoted to Krishna. Our Swarupa, or our real nature is to be devoted to Krishna. That we have forgotten. Because of which we are going on in the material world, taking different bodies. This is the important revelation Krishna is giving in Bhagavad Gita. So this is stated in the Bhagavad Gita clearly. And question comes now, fine, we understood what is material body. Material body is because we have done so many sinful actions. As a reaction, we are getting different bodies. And we have different desires to enjoy in the material world. So Krishna is awarding us different types of material bodies. And to come out of this material body and revive our spiritual body is what purpose of life is. Right? Spiritual body means no more birth, no more death, no more old age, no more disease. Eternal body, Satchidananda body, full of eternal existence, knowledge and bliss. And how to get this spiritual body? The next question. If a person is engaged in yoga, the process of self-realization, somehow or other, he fails to complete the process. The whole Vedic scriptures describe us different types of processes to revive our spiritual body. These processes are called yoga. They are known by different names. Say somebody is performing actions in a specific way as described in scriptures called karmas, and they engage them to revive the spiritual body. That is called karma yoga. and somebody is engaged in study of Vedic scriptures, trying to understand what is this world around us, what I am. This is called Jnana Yoga. Right? It's like this: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is again a process wherein you go through a mechanical process of your bodily and mental, say, control through various rules, regulations, and performing some asanas, exercises, breathing exercises, control your mind, senses, come to the level of meditation and complete absorption in Supreme Lord called Samadhi. Like this, different yogas are explained. Hatha Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. Krishna also explains about Bhakti Yoga, which is the culmination of all the yoga systems. So basically, you have to realize yourself as spirit soul and act in that platform of self-realization that I am spirit soul. Yoga process is essential. Authentic yoga process is essential. All the other processes, which of yoga processes, are not very practical in this Kali Yuga. What is most practical is Bhakti Yoga, which we'll understand more about this as we move forward in the presentation. Just to give a background of what we're talking, right? So if the person is engaged in any yoga practice, slowly the process of self-realization which is engaged, and somehow is not able to complete the process, what happens? This is the point Prabhupada is trying to make, right? Yoga process are engaging, but somehow you couldn't complete it. Just like somebody has appeared for the examination of some degree class. Somehow, he didn't get through. What to do? So again, he has to appear. Whereas with regard to spiritual life, what happens is when somebody has done some level of progress and for some reason he couldn't succeed or move forward or go forward, what happens is Krishna gives another chance to take birth in a family of pure Brahmana or a rich man, which means opportunity is given for the person who has performed or practiced yoga in his previous life. Somehow he couldn't complete it. So better opportunity is given wherein he's not worried about his basic necessities of life. And already there is spiritual culture. Such a family, he's taking birth in a very rich family or a Brahmin family. If one is fortunate enough to take birth in such a family, he gets all facilities to understand the importance of self-realization. Just see, if somebody is born in a very favorable family like this, a family of devotees or a rich family wherein already there is atmosphere of devotion, then very easy for the child to learn devotion very soon, very fast. From the very beginning of our life, our Krishna conscious children are getting the opportunity to learn how to chant and dance. Prabhupada is making all these statements to make us understand, as all of us are parents here. All of us have our kids, children. We as parents should train our children to become Krishna conscious, right? To become devotees, so that they can revive their spiritual body. If we ourselves are ignorant, what will you train our children? We're leaving them to the internet and social media. Whatever internet, social media teaches them, they'll grow like that. That's what is happening now. Parents are so busy in their professions, in their so many works, that they don't have time for children, and they themselves are ignorant about what I am. Right? They're only busy in earning money and getting name, fame, power, position. This is what is going on. So Prabhupada is indirectly hinting that we are supposed to train our children to revive their spiritual bodies, provided we also know the importance of what is spiritual body. So when they grow up, these children, they will not change, but instead will automatically make progress. They are very fortunate. This is what happens when the parents know the importance of spiritual life, the purpose of life, and they train the children accordingly. Regardless of whether you're born in America or Europe, a child will advance if his father and mother are devotees. Which means it is hinting out that we as parents or guardians should become also devotees. He gets this opportunity if a child takes birth in a family of devotees. This means that in his last life he had already taken to the yoga process, but somehow or other he could not finish it. See, the fortune, the child is continuing its journey of spiritual progress. Therefore, the child is given another opportunity to make progress under the care of a good father and mother, so that he will again advance. So the atmosphere should be created in society, in individual families, how to make the whole society, all the family members come to this platform of spiritual understanding that we have to revive our spiritual body. And to do that, what to do is what Krishna is going to, as the Prabhupada is going to explain to us now. Right? So in this way, as soon as one completes his development of God consciousness, then he no longer has to take birth in this material world, but returns to spiritual world. Just see. So nice, so wonderful. All of us belong to spiritual world. To revive our actual Krishna consciousness or God consciousness will make us eligible to take, no more take birth in this material world, but again go back to spiritual world. That is the purpose of human life. So, to revive our spiritual body, there's a process Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. This is the last point we're going to understand, and with this we close. So Krishna is guaranteeing us that he will award spiritual body in Bhagavad Gita. What is the secret Krishna is revealing? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, my dear Arjuna, if you understand my appearance, disappearance, and activities, simply because of this understanding, he is given the opportunity to take birth in the spiritual world after giving up this body. See, such a simple process. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. Understand Krishna's birth, janma, his activities, karma, and what all instructions he has given in Bhagavad Gita, philosophy. Understand them in truth, in fact. Simply understanding will make you eligible to return back to spiritual world. Krishna is assuring this to Arjuna. For all of us, Krishna is telling through Arjuna, just do this. This is going to deliver you from this material world. Just see. Such a wonderful assurance Krishna is giving. One has to give up this body today or tomorrow, or maybe the day after that. As sure as death. One has to give up this body, right? After death, what happens? Nobody knows. But a person who has understood Krishna will not have to take another material body. This is the special significance of one who is practicing bhakti, Krishna consciousness. That he will not get one more material body. That is the whole purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. He goes directly to the spiritual world and takes birth in one of the spiritual planets. Just see, this is our actual situation. He will never come back again to the material world. So Krishna says that as soon as one gets this body, it doesn't matter if it is from India or the moon or the sun or Brahmaloka or anywhere within this material world, one should know that it is due to his sinful activities. Very important revelation. Anybody in the material world should know they are sinful. Sinful meaning they are only interested with their bodily demands, bodily necessities. And they have gone against the established order of Lord Krishna. Starting from ant to elephant or Brahma, anywhere you take birth in the material world, 1/4 of the creation, we are all actually sinful. Very important revelation. There are degrees of sinful activities. According to the degree of sinfulness, one takes a material body. I told you, this material world is like a prison. The different material bodies which we are seeing around us, as humans, as animals, birds, they're all terms of imprisonment for the living entity, spirit, soul, to go through that punishment. And like this, life after life, so many millions of lives we are going through different terms of imprisonment. Sometimes as a human, sometimes as an animal, sometimes as a bird, sometimes as a tree, sometimes as an insect, sometimes as a bacteria. Like this, our life is going on in the material world. Right? According to degree of sinfulness, we take different types of material bodies. Therefore, our real problem is not how to eat, sleep, mate, and defend. Every entity, from bacteria to ant to elephant, all are busy in these 4 activities. We think that is the real problem. Roti, kapda, makan is the real problem. That is not the real problem. The real problem is how to get a body that is not material but spiritual. This understanding, other entities cannot have except in the human form of life. Right? So it's very valuable human form of life you have got. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come and giving us this wonderful opportunity. Don't waste your human form of life. Revive your spiritual body. This is the ultimate solution to all problems, to revive our spiritual body. Otherwise, you go on with your material body again and again, problems will continue. Some different ways will continue. So Krishna guarantees that if one surrenders unto him, if one becomes fully Krishna conscious, then he will give one protection from all reactions to sinful life. This is what Krishna is assuring. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam praja. Right? This is the wonderful revelation Krishna is making. So with this, we conclude today's session. We have some more understanding in this topic. We'll continue in our next session. So I would open the platform for any questions or clarifications or comments. Hare Krishna. Fine. If you have no questions, we'll close for today and continue our